Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about intuition and how important it is to really trust your gut and to really quiet the mind and really focus on what the soul is telling you. So you can call intuition whatever you want. You can call it intuition, you can call it your gut instinct, you can call it your third eye chakra. It's this deep knowing on a soul level, knowing yourself on a deeper level, knowing yourself from a clearer space, and really trusting your essence of who you are. And that is so important with decision making and really just being in this space as often as you can, because you can lead your life from a more empowered stance versus letting the ego mind control your life. So if the ego is in the driver's seat, we have a lot more competition. We don't feel as worthy. We let all of our fears and our anxieties kind of creep into our head. And at that point, our thoughts feel as if they're becoming us, which that isn't true. We aren't our thoughts. But when the ego mind is in control, that's what tends to happen. So what can we do about this? So intuition is actually a muscle. So you can strengthen your intuition, your third eye, which is actually right between the eyebrows, about 2 inches back, a little bit above the ears. You can strengthen it through meditation, and you can also strengthen it by being in the present moment. So when you're in a quiet place and when you can be fully in your body, so fully in charge of your senses, very present and not letting outside distractions get the best of you. You're not letting your past control you. You're not letting your fears or your anxiety for the future control you. You're as present as you can possibly be. That's when we are really in tune with our intuition, is being fully in the present moment. And that's why meditation is such a powerful place to be, when you can learn some of the tools and tricks to drop into this place. There's so many other forms. So mindfulness, for example, doing things that help us to become more in our body. So different forms of mindfulness, grounding, earthing, for example. If you have a place where you can go outside and really put your feet, let your skin touch the earth in some way. So whether it's actually hugging a tree or putting your feet into the soil or walking on rocks or anything to where you're really getting sensuous with the earth. So you're feeling it in your senses, your touch, you're really a part of this. That helps to bring in negative ions, which are actually good for us, and we are releasing our positive ions into the earth to become neutralized. So positive ions, we get them from technology, from being constantly in Wi-Fi or having our cell phones by us at all times. And we are finally able to release it when we come into contact with the earth, which is pretty remarkable. So that's one way of grounding. Also, you could be mindful while you're doing other things to really get into your body in a sensuous way. So mindful eating, this is something that I've really tried to work on, which I haven't been too great at, but I'm going to keep practicing, is as we're eating, being very mindful and focusing on what the food tastes like in our mouth as we chew, really being a part of that sense. So as it's going down our throat, really focusing on what we're eating, what it feels like, what it tastes like, really embodying this moment. And that helps us to be more mindful and to really bring us into our bodies. Something else is visualization. So you can, as you're taking a shower, you can visualize the water touching your body and pulling your energy off of you and watching it visually going down the drain. So that's a great way of, if you have some sort of energy that doesn't feel like it's yours, if it's foreign energy or something else that you might have picked up, you're actually watching it leave your body and go down the drain. You can also do a walking meditation. So as you're walking anywhere, you're watching your feet firmly hit the ground, and you're really being sensuous as you're doing this also. So you're watching your heel first meet the ground, and then your arch, and then your toes, and you're trying to be as present in your body as possible. So along with all of these ideas, just your classic form of meditation or any other forms of mindfulness are great ways of really becoming present to where we can tune in with our intuition on a deeper level. Sorry, I'm not used to talking so much, so I had to take a sip. Okay. Now, once we're a little bit more present in our body, how can we strengthen our intuition even greater? So really getting in tune with our bodies throughout the form of this meditation. So what is our body telling us? Where do we feel different vibrations, different tinglings, different knowings almost throughout our body? So we can sit with something in contemplation through our meditation, and if we ask ourselves a question, how does our body feel with our yeses and with our nos? So it feels different, right? And this might take some practice, but I want you to try and just see what you come up with. So if you have a question and you're in a contemplative or meditative state, I want you to just sit with it. Sit with asking the question, and then answer it with a yes, and then answer it with a no. And see the difference. See how your body feels in regards. Also focus on the area a little bit above your belly button. So that's going to be your third chakra. That's your self-identity, your power center. Focus on how that area feels. That's going to be your gut instinct. So that's going to be another form of your intuition. So focus and see how that energy feels. How does it differentiate between the yes and between the no? So it's so important using some of these tools, the tools of being present, to really focus on answering our own questions. When the ego mind is in control, we're always following someone else's advice, which most times isn't really what we need. It might be what's right in the moment, but we really need to focus on trusting what's right for us, on following our own soul's path. So by using these tools and incorporating them into your life, I promise this will help you a little bit more. I'm curious to see what you guys can come up with. If you have any other ways of getting in tune or getting into the present moment to focus on answering your own questions, and I'd love to hear more about that from you guys. So thank you for tuning in. Please rate this episode, leave a comment, and I will see you all soon. Bye.